Hello, my name is Judith, and this is an introduction to the English language. Learn English, Aprenda Inglés through Zoom. And yes, I have a session of this class through Zoom at 3 p.m. on Sundays. You're invited to join in. It's half an hour, and it is English, an English course for beginners, and it's an introduction, of course, to the English language. This lesson that I am going to consider today, and a few others that are going to come in the future under Aprenda Inglés. In one of the things to consider when you're learning a language, either it be English or Spanish, Russian, Chinese, or any other language, is to consider the people behind the language. Our speech, our communication, and the way that we use the language that we use in order to speak to others is attached to humans, their culture, their way of doing things, their way of living. So it's not just a matter of learning a language so that you can speak in a different language. It also has to do with how I am going to be interacting with others, because otherwise, why learn a new language, right? So the purpose should be that I want to get to know others. I want to get to understand what others are saying so that I can interact with more people. That should be the main reason to learn a language. If you want to learn a language to impress other humans, is not going to be enjoyable learning a new language, and basically you may end up getting bored and not trying in order to learn. So we have to have the right mentality, the right mindset, right? We want to have the right mindset in order to learn. So in some customs, some humans, different countries, they have different culture, and they do things differently. For example, in Spanish, for those who speak Spanish, there are two different ways, wording that you have to use when you're using people that you don't know, who are strangers, or people who are in business, as a business language, and also for those who are in power. And then there is a different way of treating and communicating with others when you're meeting people who are personal to you. You have a personal relationship with them, and that can be family members or it can be friends, and even if they are not your friends, but people that you are in a day-to-day basis, acquaintance, or a co-worker, someone who you work with. Then what is the difference? In Spanish, the difference is you treat the person in not a non-personal level, right? Business or who are in power. And so you say the word usted when you're referring to someone of that level. Now, if you are in the level of friendship with your family members or with your friends, then you can use the word tú. And what those two words mean, usted and tú, that means you in English. So there's only one word, no differentiation in English, but in Spanish there is. And that becomes a cultural thing. So there's a difference there. And it can be a way of causing a cultural clash when you treat someone in a personable way, but that person is not accustomed to that. So it's good to know the difference when you're learning the languages, and this can be happening in different languages, and it can be vice versa. For example, those who are used to treating a person in a personal level, for example, using the word you with no distinction because there's none, and also behaving in a way, then the person might feel maybe insulted or feeling some kind of discomfort if the other person wants to treat that person in a level, as a business level, as you treat a stranger. So we have to be conscious of these things when we are learning in order to speak a language. One way to and then another thing that I wanted to mention is that we can become self-conscious as we start learning a new skill. But again, if our main concern is to learn a language because we want to know others, we want to understand other humans, we want to get to have more friends, more people to interact with and communicate with, then you're not gonna feel the same way as if you're learning only to impress others. So there is a difference then, and then when it comes to learning and how you're gonna learn and the effort that you're going to put forth, and then also how, if you're gonna feel self-conscious or not. That is something that we all go through and that we can go through, but we have to keep in mind that we're learning, and as we learn, we're gonna make mistakes, but we continue. We learn the proper way, and we continue with the rules of the language. We continue learning how it's pronounced, and we progress onto learning the language, and keeping in mind that we all make mistakes, and even those who are used to speaking the language every day, they are gonna make mistakes also, because we're humans. So we don't want to become perfect speakers. We want to learn the language. We want to make sure that we are practicing, putting forth the effort so that we can learn the pronunciation, so that others can understand us and we can understand others, which is the purpose of learning. So with that, one of the first things to learn when we're learning a language is learning the alphabet, or in Spanish, the alfabeto. So learning the language is the alphabet. I'm gonna start with saying that, right? So that's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. That is the way that you pronounce in English. You can see it in Spanish and know it in Spanish. A, B, C. So I don't have to say it. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S T U V W X Y Z. So that is the pronunciation there for the letters, right? With the letters, you can form words. And of course, I have this circle in yellow because these are letters in itself. The letter A, you can start a sentence with that. So with the letter I, that when you're referring to yo or I, me, yo, that is what that in a word, in a whole is or by itself is a word. In Spanish is yo, 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 y-o. In English is only that one letter, I. And that is one of the important things to learn, and it's one of the easiest words that you're going to learn in English because it's that word by itself, and also the letter A, because it is by itself, because it is by itself. So I, referring to me, to myself, to I, refers to my existence, refers to me, refers to I as my body, my existence, my person. So whenever I'm gonna speak out to others, just like it is in any other language, when referring to yo, it's because I am speaking about me. Whatever I say with my mouth, whatever I speak out, is whatever I am saying in regards to me, what I like, or in regards to what I believe, what I think, what my ideas are. So whenever I use the word I, everyone who is listening, when I say I, they are expecting to know what my body, what my mind, what my eyes, what everything that has to do with me, what my eyes are seeing. When I say I like apples, they are knowing that I'm looking at something, I have tasted an apple and I like it. So whenever hearing something, the same thing. So whenever the word I use the word I, yo, it refers to me, myself, I, my body, my existence. And the person who's hearing me wants to know, or is going to pay attention and know what it's in my mind and what I'm saying out to others. So that is one of the first things that we learn in the language. And of course, we have to keep in mind the culture. Some things are acceptable in some cultures, some things are not. So it is good that as we learn the language, we know what the culture of the people who speak the language is about, and that we respect their way of doing things, so that we don't have a culture clash, because we want to make friends. That's what we want, to get to know more people and understand them. So again, the letter is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and the last one, Z. That is the alphabet, el alfabeto. Also, when you speak out, And the way that you can learn, a method that you can use, is that you must start changing what you're listening to, how you're watching TV. If you're watching TV in Spanish, you must watch now in English. Listen to the news. Watch how they speaking. Hear. And then pronounce. Our words, our lips are gonna move differently as you speak different languages because they have different pronunciation. So we are going to sound different. We're gonna look different when we're speaking. But again, that is part of learning the language. So another thing that we can learn is the numbers, right? Numbers. We have here numbers, números. And you can see these, right? You can see the numbers. It's 1 through 10. You already know them in Spanish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm gonna say it in English because you already know it in Spanish. So English is 1, 1, and then you see the letters there from the alphabet. 1, oh, that's O N E. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, right? 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 6, 4, 3, 8, 10. Okay, so you can practice these, and as you practice, again, there's a lot over here that I have imported, and so, but the beginning of it is that we learn the alphabet and the numbers, and then next time we're going to do the signs and symbols. And if you want to join the class, I do have a class that lasts for a trimester, and you can sign up through Eventbrite. I will put the link down on the space there that allows me to put my information, and then you can check out the information that I have there for the trimester. Next week I am planning to bring up another video that is going to show the next part of the lesson, which is the signs and symbols and saying hello. Keep in mind the cultural background of the humans. Language is attached to other humans. We want to use language in order to meet and understand others, communicate with others. And so we have to keep that in mind. Thank you for watching, and I hope you liked the video.